Hello everyone, this is Pete from Concise Bourbon. Today, I saw a couple of videos regarding Willet. Here's the new bottle, the Willet Purple Top, but this one is a small batch. If you notice, it's 4 years, 127.4 proof. Now, I only saw one video before the video I just saw, and I saw another one from the Mash and Drum. They make great videos about bourbon. But this one, they were really dogging this Willet 4-year small batch. But I was surprised because I've had a Willet 11-year that was fantastic, a 12-year was fantastic. So when I saw this, I felt like I had to grab it. And then I saw the second review and both of them said that this was just a waste of money. Now, I paid $80 for this. Well, I should say this was gifted to me by my buddy Jim. And this is an $80 bottle. So let's go ahead and try it out and see if it's worth the money. Now I hear that some people can get it for $60 MSRP, but in our area, in Indiana, it's about $80, if not higher. So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm really hoping that this is going to be great for me. You know, we all have different palates, so I respect everyone's opinions. But sometimes I like things when other people say they don't. And sometimes I don't like things when they say that they do like them. So let's go ahead and give it a try. We're going to listen for that pop. Okay, that's a decent pop. It was really tight. Now let's have a little pour. Let it breathe. I'm gonna just let it sit out there open. What do we get? It is very light on the nose. A lot of times with Willet, especially the 11-year, and my buddy just got a 12-year, they have deep notes. You can really smell the barrel, the char, the vanillas, the caramels. This one, it seems very light, young, almost like a white sugar, not really a brown sugar. Maybe like you're just starting to make the caramel. It's not really deep yet. It feels like it really needs to open. I can smell the ethanol, so I understand what some people are saying about the ethanol. Now this is 127.4 proof. Let me go ahead and bring something else that was a high proof. We have this Stag. This is the 25A, and this is right around that same proof point, 126.5 proof. Now, when I open it, there we are. That's a good looking and good sounding pop cork. Oh yeah, we just get so much out of that nose. You get fruits, you get barrel char, vanilla, caramel. And I'm sure if I poured it into the glass, I'd smell even more. But let's set that to the side because we're not going to compare it with Stag. Again, Stag, a lot of times there's said to age around 8 to 9 years. This is also, this right here is a small batch for 4 years. So they're not really comparing against each other. But I just want to make the point about the proof. I really don't get much out of there, honestly. I mean, maybe a little bit of yeast roll with dipped in some alcohol. It smells like some fruit is trying to come out. It wants to come out, but I'm just not getting it. All right. Now, if we look at the color is pretty light. Willet's, a lot of times the older ones, the 7, 8, 11, 12, obviously they're going to be darker. They sat in the barrels a lot longer. This one does have good legs. I don't know if you can see it, the oiliness of the legs. They are long. It does look rich. It actually looks velvety in the glass. It's very pretty, but it is very light for a 4-year too. It looks like if it's 4 years, it just barely meet that 4-year criteria. Yeah, actually, the more it opens, honestly, I was expecting to get more out of the nose. I honestly get less. Let's try it. Okay. This is hard to explain because to me, it seems like it wants to be flowery. A little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of caramel. It has a floral kind of note. It reminds me of maybe like a Four Roses. In a sense, maybe the OESK maybe. That's what it really reminds me. But it really has a nice velvety mouthfeel to it, which makes sense when you see all the legs on this thing. Going back for a second sip. You really feel the ethanol, the bite, a peppery kind of a bite towards the back of the throat, all the way down the esophagus. You still feel it. And then it dies. It gives just barely a Kentucky hug. And I'm fine with that ethanol, that bite, if I'm getting bold flavors as well. But honestly, I'm not. It feels like it wants to take me places. It wants to take me on a journey of maybe flowers or maybe light caramels, maybe light vanillas, but everything is just light, light, light. And for the money, I'm honestly very disappointed. This really is not what they should be putting out, especially with some of the bangers they have. My buddy has a 12-year-old that is amazing. He has a few bottles of that one because they're so good. And this is definitely not it. It tastes like actually more like it's in a toasted oak barrel than a charred oak barrel. I went in for the third sip and it's getting a little bit more bitter in my mouth. Not in a really harsh way, but almost like sucking on the wood grain of the barrel kind of a thing, but not very potent. Just, you could barely taste it, but it tastes like a young oak that you were sucking the juice out of. Almost like they squeezed that oak stave just to get the rest of that juice out of there. Which, man, I know they say a small batch, but for 80 bucks, and I'm sure some people say 60, but is this worth $80 or even 60? Now, I love the proof point. 127.4. I love that. But there's just nothing there to it. It seems like, it feels like it's a strong, oily bourbon, but it tastes like it's watered down. I don't know what to compare it to. So let's compare it to something that really may have a shot against it. There we go. Now, this is a $60 bottle. Green River Foolproof. And this one is 117.3. So we've got that. I've got some others, but a lot of them are single barrels. And I don't want to compare a single barrel to a small batch. Now, this is a small batch. This is pretty close. It's about 10 proof points off. Not huge, but let's go ahead and open this for you guys. I was not trying to do a comparison for you guys. I just want to go over the Willet, but I really want to give a fair comparison, see if it's really worth the money. And then what would I rate it at? Because I do like this Green River. Oh, nice sound to it too. Maybe it's because they use real cork in the Green River as opposed to this rubber stuff from Willet with a plastic cap on top. There you get a wood cap and a wood cork from Green River. So already Green River's in the running to just beat it. Now, let's go ahead and see the difference. We're going to see the difference in the color too. Okay, so this again is Foolproof. It's 117.3, I believe that says. Foolproof Green River. Just opened it up as well. DSPKY 10. So let's go ahead and try this now compared to the Willets. So this would be on this side. I'm gonna move this out the way. Okay, so this is the Willet, this is the Green River. On the nose. Already I'm getting deeper flavors here. Bear with me for a second, please. It's opening up as well. Okay. I'm getting brown sugars, vanillas. I'm getting some char influence in here. It's not overly complex, to be honest, but it does make my mouth water a little bit because it reminds me of like a warm pie. Now, what kind of a pie? I don't know. Almost like a vanilla custard pie that was just baked, which I know this is cold custard, but that's what it smells like. Maybe like you had a vanilla custard and you just bake that with a topping, lace topping on top. That's what it smells like to me. It's pleasant. Now let's go ahead and try the palate. Well, first of all, before we do that, let's see the legs. Let's see. Now, I will say, I don't know if you can see it, there are quite a few legs, but I will say the Willet looked a bit more oily. And as I move it in the glass, the Willet looked more velvety as well. Now, we know those are just a few of the components. Things can change as you're making the batches, but let's go ahead and have a taste now. There are legs, there are oils in there. It just looks like there was a bit more in the Willet. Small taste to acclimate my palate. And wow, I felt the ethanol for a second or two, and then flavors. The charred oak. It does taste a little bit bitter too because you have a lot of oak influence, which is really nice in the Green River. Let me see if I can get past that charred oak taste. As I go back, I can taste vanillas. I can taste like caramel. It tastes a little bit fruity, almost like the skin of an apple that is maybe like dark red. The dark red, red apples, Red Delicious, I believe they're called. It tastes like the skin of that is in there. Now, I did do 3 sips of the Willet. I'm going to go back to a third, but you know what? Honestly, I still have the flavor in my mouth, which is fantastic for the finish because Willet dropped off really quick. It was not even funny how fast that dropped off. It really tastes really watered down. This tastes very sophisticated. It tastes older, quite a bit older, actually. This tastes more like a 6-year-old compared to this. If this is a 4-year-old, this tastes like a 6 or 7-year-old. Now, I'm gonna be honest, to me, this tastes like a 4 to 5-year-old, maybe a 5-year-old, and this tastes like a 2-year-old, if I'm being honest. So let's go ahead and try the Green River for the 3rd time. Smell it again. This time I'm getting some flowery, some floral notes, which is really nice. Maybe like a rose petal. Maybe some fruit too. Out of it, maybe the flesh of that Red Delicious in there. It's opening up and very nicely. Let me see if the Willet's opening up. It is a little bit. Now the white sugar is starting to smell like brown sugar a little bit. It's smelling a little bit more vanilla. You know what? Drams and Drums mentioned cinnamon. I can smell it now in this glass. It almost smells like a big red gum. That's amazing how it's changed since it's opened a little bit. So it does have that unusual kind of a scent to it. And now I can't get rid of that big red gum out of my mouth, or excuse me, out of my mind as I smell this. But I do smell vanilla mixed in with there. So that is interesting. I mean, I don't know that I really want to drink that gum, but it's interesting. Now this actually smells more complex, more well-rounded, well-balanced. Let's try the third sip. Beautiful. I really like that. Caramels, almost like a chocolate on that one too. Like a cross between a dark and a milk chocolate. That apple skin again that I mentioned, a little bit of floral towards the back of the palate, a little bit of char, not so bitter, maybe because my palate's gotten so more used to it as well, so it's not so bitter now, but I can still taste the barrel influence and the flavor is still there. I'm not getting a sharp drop off. I'm not getting a watery taste at the end. Now, to be fair, I am going to go back to the Willet one more time and then back to the Green River Full Proof. And this was not supposed to be a competition. I was just so shocked by this Willet Purple Top 4-year because I love Willet. It's actually one of the two best bourbons I've had, especially that 11 and 12 year. Willet Purple Top were fantastic. That 12 year is phenomenal. It's got char for days, but smooth and full body flavor. It's so dark you could barely see through it. It's amazing. And so I was expecting a lot of things from this, and maybe my expectations were so high, and so that's why I had to bring out something else. And when I brought it out, I was like, no, my expectations weren't too high because this is meeting them. So enough chatting. Let me go back to this. And I'm just trying to be real with you guys because we all have different price points. I'm not rich or anything like that. I've got some bottles here and there. I've got some buddies that I try my bourbons with, and we have a good time. And we're not deep, heavy drinkers, but we do like to try a lot of different bourbons from time to time. And if you notice, I try to pour a small pour so I can try different ones. So let's go again to this Willet small batch 4-year. So that big red gum that I had on the nose, I'm definitely getting it on the taste now. That sweet cinnamon, kind of maybe like those hot tamale candies, and a little bit of barrel influence. Just a touch of that imitation vanilla taste, not that real vanilla taste. It is lasting a little bit longer. I'm wondering if going to the Green River helped it last a little bit longer. But then it just drops off, and in your final palate that you're left with, tastes like you just drank water right after it, just to wash down the drink before you drink another one. That's what it really tastes like. Like you just drank some water, and so you just got a little bit of that alcohol still in your mouth. It's okay. Honestly, if this was a $50 bottle, I would be happy with it. I'd be good with it. $49.99, $45.99. I think that's $45.99 to $50 max is where I think this bottle should be. But honestly, I think $45 is probably where it should be. I heard some people say $25 to $30. But this one, let's try this again. This is a $60 bottle in my area. Again, now, I mean, it's just the little things too, like the quality of the cork is nicer. Now we compare the colors. I don't know, they seem about the same. I would actually say the green, let me switch them both. Yeah, no, the Green River is darker for sure. I switch them both. I don't know if you can see that. This is the Green River. There, it's definitely darker for sure. So let's go ahead and try this Green River again. Nose. Sweet. Almost said Sweet Caroline, but sweet just smells like a bourbon, a floral bourbon, just sugars, like brown sugars, light brown sugar. That red apple going in, maybe even into a little bit of that green apple, the flesh. Then you get into the vanillas, the caramels. A little bit of ethanol. And again, this is 10 proof points lower than this 127. But man, does it have so much more flavor. Yes, it's going to have a little bit less of an ethanol, but this should pack more flavor since it is a higher proof than this. But no, it doesn't. Okay, we're going to try the taste again. You know, this brings a smile to my face. Just on the back end of the swallow, as you swallow it, you have a little bit of that spice from that ethanol. It's not really like a peppery spice. It's just a little bit of an alcohol burn. But then underneath the tongue, you have sweetness. You have the caramel, the vanillas, the puff pastry in there, like that pie that I was talking about. Maybe even that vanilla custard mixed with like an apple pie in there, almost like, oh, an apple pie a la mode with ice cream in it, with that vanilla ice cream. I could go with that. Yes. And then it gives you that complex, that char oak in it. Man, this really tastes phenomenal compared to this. So if I was to go ahead and rate these in scores, for Green River, $60 compared to $80. My area again. I know some people can get this for $60, and maybe they can get this for cheaper. I got this for $60. I would say that this is probably a 7.8. I really like this. You know, well, I guess it's just compared to this. You know, honestly, compared to some of my other good bottles, I'd have to give it a 7. A 7's good point. A 7's good. Let me just do that. I'm not going to go crazy. It's just compared to that. It just made my score go higher. But this is a 7. It's a really good drink. I really enjoy it. I would say it's good, teetering on almost very good. And this, if this is a 7, this right here probably is like a 5.5. Man, I hate to do it because I know, dude, some people are going to kill me in the comments, but you know, I know some people gave 6.5. Okay, I'll do 6. If this is a 7, I'll do 6. And I'm being stringent on the score. If this is a 7, this is 6. I really think it's closer to 5.5 if I'm being honest. Now, just so you can get your bearing, that's a 7. This 25A, honestly, is probably, compared to them, maybe like an 8.4. 8.4. So I think I'm being fair. 7, 5.5. I'm just going to leave it there. 7, 5.5. So, man, I got to give it to them. The two people I saw the reviews, they were right. This was, it feels like a money grab, honestly. It feels like whoever was mixing the barrels didn't really care about making sure about the quality. They just made sure that the proof was high, made sure that we got it out there. It probably just barely hit 4 years. Who knows if it was in high heat? It doesn't feel like it was in high heat. It feels like maybe it was in lower levels of the warehouse. So it didn't go into the grains of the wood very much, hence the less color, how fast it just falls off. Now I'm going to do one more thing for you guys, because I did hear someone say that this is more like it should be a $25 bottle from someone. So let's go ahead and compare it to, let's say, you know what? Let's grab this old 114 Old Granddad. We know this. This is a staple, right? You can tell I like it. It's almost gone, but don't worry. I've got some backups. Let's try this. Not bad. Hollow pop. Plastic on top. Real cork in the middle. Still beating the Willet. And now, this is on average a $36 bottle, but I've seen them as low as like anywhere from $17 to $25, right? So let's go ahead and try this. The most I've ever gotten one was for $36, but I don't do that anymore now. So let's try this. Move this back. Put this back here. All right? Put this back here. I don't need to drink any more of that. Now we're going to do Old Granddad 114. Now, 114, I generally get citrus. So smelling these other bourbons, let's see if I'm going to pick up anything else. Okay, on the palate. I get slight ethanol, which is to be expected. I don't get much either. Maybe it's because it's the lower end of the bottle. I've had it for a little bit. That's good. I do get a little bit of citrus on the note and a little bit of bread, like a maybe a Wonder Bread when you open that package up and you smell the bread when it's first opened. I get that with a little bit of sugar, that maybe between a white sugar and a really light brown sugar. Maybe like that natural cane sugar. That's what it is. That natural cane sugar. And that vanilla, it doesn't smell like an imitation vanilla. It smells like a regular vanilla, like a real vanilla, but just like a light one. One that may be watered down. All right, let's try it. And I am getting more of that citrus as it opens up in the glass. You can see the legs on this thing. Legs for days. I don't know if you can pick it up in the camera, but this one has the best legs out of all of them. All three of the bottles, the Willet, the Green River. And man, this is a fun one. I really do like this one. It's fun. You know, it's not something that I want to drink every day or not that I drink every day, but even when I do take a sip, that's not going to be my first go-to. But I do like it as an occasional sipper because it brings something special, brings something different. Let me have another sip of that real quick, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm tasting. All right. I'm tasting the oak barrel, the char. As it continues to go through, I'm tasting the bread, the yeast, like a yeast roll that's a little bit sweeter, all the way to a Wonder Bread, goes along with the nose. As it goes through, it tastes like an orange peel towards the back ends, maybe like with that rind, with that white part in it. I'm tasting some, a light, maybe like a burnt caramel almost, some vanillas. It's got a lot more going on than this Willet, honestly. Man, and if you can get this for $17 at Costco, $25 to $27 at a decent store, all the way up to 36, which, you know, you can get better, but it's still a better price than 80 bucks for this. I'm gonna try it again versus the Willet. Let's try it again. Let me smell it again, just see if it opened up again real quick. Okay, it does have a different smell to it. It is smelling a little bit older, a little bit of that barrel influence. It does have a richer caramel smell, a richer vanilla smell. So I'm giving it its due. I'm giving it a fair chance. I've given it time to open up. I've gone back and forth, right? The legs on this are still beautiful. I do love the legs on this. You're not going to probably be able to see them very well. Going in for a taste. All right. I am tasting more oak, but I'm tasting a lot more caramel, a lot more vanilla. And there goes that big red gum again. Doesn't taste like a sweet gum though, just that cinnamon type of gum. It tastes almost like the gum is halfway through its flavor, like that kind of a gum taste. But I'm getting more caramel, more vanilla, more oak, more of that barrel presence. So it does need time to breathe. So you know what? This isn't a 5.5 anymore. Honestly, I think it's getting to that 6 range. You know, that was a lot nicer. That was pretty disappointing at 5.5, and I was pretty disappointed with it. The smell was nothing. The taste was so watery. And before I even take a second sip, even the finish is lasting a little bit longer. Now, it's not complex. It just tastes, the finish is tasting more, a little bit of slight vanilla and slight oak barrel. But at least there's something there. It doesn't taste like straight water. Second sip. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. Honestly, I still think $50 max. $50. You know, because it's gone up, it has given me a little bit more as it moved up. I would say $50, not that $45. $49.99, $50, I think is boom fair. You're getting what you get. Don't expect much, but $50, that's good. Let me try this old Granddad 114 now versus it and see which one would I pick. Again, I paid my buddy paid 80, good friend of mine, my buddy Jim. Now, we did get this, and I get most of my bottles from Gay's Hop and Schnapps. We have one in Auburn, Indiana. I really like them. And so they do hook us up. It's hard sometimes to get it because they are a chain that's owned by a big corporation. So sometimes it's hard to get select barrels or bottles. But I was able to get a stag from them, which is good too. So, you know, I can't complain too much. I want to give a shout out to Misty and my buddy Jim who got me this bottle. I really appreciate you guys. All right, back on to the 114 Old Granddad. Everybody knows it's a good value, good deal. Smell stays the same, consistent. You got to love that consistency in it. All right, let's go back to the palate now. All right, nice, deep char influence. I like it. That orange peel again. That caramel. The almost like a toasted vanilla wafer, like not really burnt, but getting closer to that burnt of that vanilla wafer. I like it. It's pretty cool. It's unique. You know, again, it wouldn't be my regular sipper, but I do like it to change things up, especially for the price. You have people coming over, you're on a budget, or they're not big bourbon people, so you don't want to pull out some of the more expensive stuff. This is a great deal, great bottle to go ahead and do. And I'm going to have to go head to head real quick. Okay. A lot of char oak now. A lot of oak barrel. More caramel, more vanilla. And that's it. That's pretty much it. I'm not getting any of that bread anymore. It is lasting a little bit longer. It doesn't finish off with watery flavor. It's finishing off with the barrel, a vanilla barrel. Light vanilla barrel. It doesn't taste as imitation vanilla anymore. Now it's tasting like a real vanilla, but just a really light real vanilla. Almost like you didn't put enough into your cake batter or whatever you're making. That's what it tastes like. All right? Okay, clear winner. But they're both really good. I would say, honestly, this is better than the 114 Old Granddad to me. 114 Old Granddad is really good. Especially if this is a $16 bottle, I would buy this all day over this. Even if it was $50. But at $36, and if this was $50, would I pay the extra $14? I would. I honestly would. But if it's less than $36, if it's $25, no. I'll just go ahead and go with that. Especially if people have already tried this. And if they can get it at $50, yes, I would buy it again. No problem. Anything over $50, honestly, I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't get it. If you don't have any and you get it at $60, I think it's worth a shot. I would just say pour it and let it sit. Let it open. Don't be in a rush. I might do another tasting of this, another review in about a couple of weeks after it's opened up a bit, just to see if things have changed and the value has gone up. So again, the scores. So I would say if this is 7, this right here, yeah, it's growing on me. 6.2. 6.2. Okay? 7, 6.2, 6. Honestly, that's where I would go. So hopefully you've liked this. You know, I try to be concise. I pulled out all these things for you because I want you to understand what these bottles, what they're charging, and what they're really worth. So, what do you think? Which one would you pick? We got the Green River Foolproof Bourbon, the 114 Old Grandad, and the Willet Small Batch 4-year, 127.4 proof, 114, 117. My order would be 1, 2, 3. What would your order be? Do you want me to compare something else to this Willet? What do you think? I look forward to the comments. Please like and subscribe. It means a lot to me and it's free, but it really does help me grow. And the more I grow, the more I can get bottles to review for you guys. If you want me to review a certain bottle, let me know in the comments and I'll try to find it if I don't have it and see if I can do a review for you. Again, this is Pete with Concise Bourbon. Thank you so much. I'm out.